What is up, guys? J-Dank is here with a video for you today. I've got kind of a special one for us all today. I managed to run into the #1 ranked player in the world for ranked in Pocket. Some of you guys may be familiar with S1 Gun. He's managed to reach first place in ranked multiple times. He's consistently within the top 100, if not the top 10, pretty much every single season. I would definitely consider him pretty much the best player in ranked in the world. Anyways, we're going to check out the duel we had between the two of us tonight in a tournament. I guess at the end of the video, I'll go over the deck that I used in detail. But in the meantime, sit back, hit that like button. Remember to subscribe while you're at it, and let's watch the duel. All right. Starting off here, we are going up against Magnezone. S1 Gun is playing Magnezone. I'm playing Hydreigon with a single Absol and 2 Chinglings. We were lucky enough to start with a Chingling out front. S1 starting with a Magnemite. Now, I wasn't sure if I should try to, dump my hand and then play Copycat. I do believe that's what I end up going with here. We put the Chingling down. Try to dump as many cards out of our hand as possible. We'll get a 4-card return. Managed to get a helmet and a candy. Now, I wasn't sure. Sometimes you can put the helmet out front on the front Chingling, and it makes it so they can't attack you, or at least attack you back. In this scenario where I had 2 Chinglings out front, and I figured I'm going to go for it with the Hydreigon, since we have the candy in hand. I ended up choosing the Dino instead of putting it on one of the Chinglings. Had we have gotten the Hydreigon right here, obviously it would have been like a turn 2. Turn 2 for me, game over essentially. Kind of a daring choice here to use your second Copycat this early in the game, but the opponent had 5 cards in their hand, so it was almost too irresistible not to do. We managed to draw an Absol and our second Dino. Problem is, we do have a full bench at this point. End up going for Helmet on the Absol. We're going to swap out the Chinglings. That way, the front one doesn't die to just a 20 damage ping. I did put the energy on that Absol on the bench there. That way, he's ready to go next turn in case we do not draw our Hydreigon. The downside, too, is with that Copycat that I had, we did have a candy in hand, so we basically had one piece of the evolution puzzle there. But while, with that Copycat draw, we ended up losing that, which is kind of unfortunate. We're going to go and throw our Professor, see what we can get. Didn't give us a whole lot this turn, unfortunately. Dead Pokeball. Gonna retreat. One thing I could have done here was use the X-Speed preemptively, just because the opponent is running 2 Copycats, and they could benefit off of me not using that. Our choices here are Pokecenter Lady and Mars. We do see that they have a Magneton and a Magnemite in hand. Or, excuse me, Magnezone. Excuse me. Magneton and a Magnezone in hand. Which means they're going to evolve this Magneton out front. As well as throw a Pokeball. We know we're going to get hit for 110 by the Magnezone. We do have a helmet on, so it will drop it down to 100 HP. Out comes the Pokecenter Lady. Brings that Magnezone back up to 140 with a cape, brings it up to 160. At this point, We're really needing to draw our Hydreigon. Five cards left on my end. We throw the Professor. We end up hitting the rare candy. And now it's coming down to a gamble. If they had Cyrus here, it would essentially be over if they have Cyrus. We weren't lucky enough to burn the Cyrus when we did attack with Absol. We're going to have to retreat here. Hydreigon going out front. We're going to hit for 130, and we have a helmet on, so the Magnezone is now down to, 10 health, and it won't be able to attack into this Hydreigon without KOing itself. They did use their Poke Center Lady last turn as well, so they won't be able to heal up this Magnezone. Even if they were able to heal it up, the Hydreigon's sitting at 120 HP, so they wouldn't be able to necessarily KO the Hydreigon. We do see him decide to attack here. That's going to go for a double KO. The 20 damage helmet is going to knock the Magnezone out. Which now leaves us to use Poke Center Lady, heal us back up past the point of being able to roar in unison and get our energy back. And that'll do it. That was it for us, folks. The duel between us and S1 Gun. This deck, Hydreigon deck, is... it's a high roller deck for sure. High risk, high reward. I feel like with Copycat, or at least running double Copycat, in addition to double Professor, you're really maximizing your chances of being able to draw into Hydreigon. With your Chinglings, Chingling out front first turn is an excellent stall. Prevents your opponent from being able to use any sort of rare candy themselves. So if you come across any sort of mirror match, you can essentially that's a good way to control the match early on as well, is using your Chinglings and preventing the opponent from being able to evolve into a Hydreigon. I will say this deck has picked up some popularity over the last week or so. So again, if you come across like a mirror match, it really comes down to who got the Chinglings out first, and it was able to control the board and prevent those Hydreigon evolutions. Really, this deck is able to plow through basically any deck in the meta currently, as long as you're able to get those Hydreigons online within the first few turns. You can still stall with Absol, like we saw there. We were able to stall early on, take some hits. If you're lucky, you're able to burn their Cyruses, which then allows you to move your Absol to the bench. I guess, real quickly, let's go over the cards in the deck. Give me just a sec here, and we'll pull up the cards. Alright, so let's go through the cards in the deck real quickly here, and just kind of discuss what we have and possible changes that we could make. We are running double Chingling, double Dinos, double Hydreigon, a single Absol. We're only running one Absol, a single X-Speed, 2 Pokeballs, 2 Candies, 2 Helmets, 2 Copycats, 2 Professors, a Cyrus, and a Poke Center Lady. The downside with 20 card decks, you don't have a lot of wiggle room at this point. With this deck here, I had tried out taking out the Poke Center Lady, and I find it to actually be one of the more key, crucial elements of this deck, is having a Poke Center Lady to be able to heal up your Hydreigon, kind of like what we saw in that game just there. Without that Hydreigon heal, I wouldn't have been able to roar in unison, which wouldn't have been able to get my energy online, and I would have kind of been at mercy to that Oricorio that just moved up into the active spot. Hydreigon, again, being a 1 prize point mon, is able to walk right through any sort of Oricorio threat. Again, I guess without the Poke Center lady, if I were to have roared in unison, it would have KO'd my Pokemon, which then would have forced my Absol to have then come out towards the front there. Another thing Poke Center lady allows you to do is in mirror matches where you are facing off against another Absol. Absol is going to hit you for 80 damage. If they hit you twice, it's 160. If they manage to have a helmet on, it'll be enough to basically 2-shot you. With the Poke Center lady, you can stall and bump it up to a 3-shot, depending on how they have that helmet. You may end up not being able to attack into it again, but at least it'll keep you alive long enough to prevent you from getting 1-shot. Even if they were to Cyrus you in, you can Poke Center lady yourself out of that kill range. So again, if they Cyrus you in, it doesn't necessarily 1-shot you. And they essentially waste their Cyrus, because then you can, for 1 energy, retreat back out. But ideally, you want to either swing in with your Absol when you can burn their Cyrus, or when it's safe for you. You don't want to set up an opportunity for them to chip your Absol down and then counter you with a Cyrus later on in the game if you don't happen to burn their Cyrus. Again, this deck comes down to how quickly you can get Hydreigon online. If you can get them online with Rare Candy within the first few turns, you are ready to go. One thing you could possibly add, I would say, with the addition of Chingling, is maybe even add like a middle line or a middle evolution, which would then allow you to manually evolve one of your Hydreigons instead of having to Rare Candy evolve it. The downside is, again, what are we getting rid of? I almost think you could maybe get away with running no X speed in this deck. It does get a little hairy with, like, starting, I don't know, first, second, when you have maybe Dino out front and you want to swap out into a Chingling. X speed definitely comes in handy there. One thing you could maybe even swap out is 1 Rocky Helmet. I don't know, necessarily, excuse me. You don't necessarily need 2 Rocky Helmets to win games. You can win it with just a single Rocky Helmet. But I do think Rocky Helmet is key in this deck as well. Having 2 of them is just going to increase your draw ability. You could maybe drop down to just 1 Pokeball. You are only running 5 basics. You're going to start with 1 of them, so you're running basically 4 other basics. If you have 1 Pokeball, I mean, you could possibly get away with it just due to the fact that you have multiple copycats. Double Copycat is for sure an excellent engine for getting this entire deck set up very fast. Alright guys, that's going to do it. If you guys have any questions, leave a comment down below. Also be sure to drop a like for me on the video. I'd appreciate it if you could. If you guys aren't subscribed to the channel yet, definitely make sure to hit that sub button. We do live stream usually about 5 days a week, so definitely stop in for one of our live streams. In addition to that, you guys can catch me possibly live streaming, or co-casting Pocket Mats tournaments on the weekends. It's the largest Pocket tournament in the world. So again, catch me there as well. But other than that, catch me on my channel just here under JDankest on both YouTube and Twitch. I will see you guys on the next video or during the next live stream. You guys take it easy and have a good one.